وصحبه أجمعين. May Allah teach us what benefit us and make us benefit from what we learn and increase our knowledge. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قال إبراهيم رب اجعل هذا بلدا آمنا وارزق أهله من الثمرات من آمن منهم بالله واليوم الآخر قال ومن كفر فأمتعه قليلا ثم أضطره إلى عذاب النار وبئس المصير. So here Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the rest of the story of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So as you know, Surah Al-Baqarah started defining who are the believers, who are the unbelievers, and who are the hypocrites. Then Allah Azza wa Jal told us that He created everything and was ready for us to create us, send us down to earth, and that He will bring in the Quran a lot of examples from mosquitoes and above in complexity, and then He told us about the creation of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and how Iblis managed to get him out of paradise. And then He told us about the story of the religious people who followed the messages from Allah Azza wa Jal before us, namely the Christian and Jew. And then He took us back to the one who started it all, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Obviously, we all descend from Nuh as well. So He finished from the story of the problem with the sons of Israel, although He will come back to it many times in the Quran. Then He took us to the story of Ibrahim, and he is the original, he is the father of the Arab and the Jew, and he is the one who is promised the promised land in Palestine, and how it happened that he went to Mecca and he built a mosque in Mecca. And mainly, when you will see the following few ayahs, how Allah Azza wa Jal, obviously Allah is the one who created everything, and He knew what was going to happen, and He knew the political problems going to come later in history when the Zionists claimed Israel, saying it was the promised land for Ibrahim alayhi and his children. So in these ayahs, Allah Azza wa Jal emphasized that His children are Ismail and Ishaq, and from Ishaq came Yaqub, and from Yaqub came the 12 disciples who are the main fathers of the Jews, the sons of Israel. So here Allah Azza wa Jal, after Allah promised, He appointed him, He tested him. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. He tested him with heavy, difficult tests, and he passed it all, and He made him Imam to all mankind, a leader to all mankind. And here is a leader, religious leader, not a political leader, because He said here, oh Allah Azza wa Jal, make this country or this town, Balad, and Balad here Nakira. It was still nobody there but his own wife and his own son Ismail, still no people there, and he wanted this a peaceful town or Balad, and warzuq ahlahu min as-samarat, and give sustenance to its people from all the crops.
Which town is he referring to?
Mecca. Yeah, Mecca. But Ibrahim thought that since he is the Imam, his descendants will be also religious Imam. So he wants only the wealth to come to the believers. وَارْزُقْ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ مَنْ آمَنَ مِنْهُمْ. Whoever believed in Allah and the hereafter among them. And then Allah Azza wa Jal said, no, don't mix them both. There is the religious people, and they will be leading people to Allah Azza wa Jal, and there is the rest of the people who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, but Allah guaranteed the sustenance to both. So He said, Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ. Also the one who is kafir, Allah Azza wa Jal will give him from the food and drink and sustenance and the bounty of Allah Azza wa Jal. And don't worry about that. His enjoyment will be short. Because no matter how long he lived on this earth, it's comparing to the eternal life in paradise, is zero. There's nothing. So the Prophet ﷺ used to say, my example of your dunya, your earth, is like a traveler who stopped to rest under a tree and he is about to go. استظل بظل شجرة. He just rested under a shade of a tree and he's about to go. So there's no time to waste on other things. But don't worry, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, ثُمَّ أَضْطَرُّهُ here, he will be without any choice taken to or exposed to a severe punishment. By the way, Sulaiman, I heard you were reading the Quran, Imam, last week. It was, the reading is good, this Imam. Need to get him. Yeah, you were praying with your. So أضطره, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, I will force him to go to a severe punishment, and that's the worst destination and the worst end for him indeed. So that's the ayah. Ibrahim alayhi salatu salam thought that since he's the Imam, because he believed he passed the test, then Allah Azza wa Jalla will single him and the believers with all the help and sustenance. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, there's ayah in Surah Al-Isra, كُلًّا نُمِدُّ هَؤُلَاءِ وَهَؤُلَاءِ مِنْ عَطَاءِ رَبِّكَ وَمَا كَانَ عَطَاءُ رَبِّكَ مَحْظُورًا. We will provide those who believe and those who don't believe from the gift of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and your the sustenance or the support from Allah Azza wa Jalla, or obviously the food and drink and accommodation and things, are not restricted to any group or any religion. So you could find people who don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla are super rich. You could find people who believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla, they're poor. Your richness and poorness depends on how much effort you put and how much time you put. And if you put enough time and effort and you work hard, Allah Azza wa Jalla will make you rich as well and become a top leader. There is a house in London bought by Kuwaiti investment group in 1980, in the beginning of the 80s, for 5 million. They sold them for 8 million, 1988, to a prince from Saudi, and it's in the market now for 250 million. If you have 250 million spare money, you know. So there's Muslims who are super rich. They're supposed to be Muslims, I don't know. I haven't checked, but now it's owned by the grandson of Sultan ibn Abdulaziz. Sultan ibn Abdulaziz was the Minister of Defense, and he died of heart problem and heart attack and things. So Allah Azza wa Jal said it's not restricted. The wealth will come to these and these, depends on their input into life, how much mean they use, how much time they put, how much effort they make. And if you are not clever enough, they might steal you without you even knowing. Now, every month, the last month I've sent the sterling was 7,300 Syrian pound. The pound is $1.2. Now this month is the dollar is 7,200. So the pound is 9,000. So who is stealing the value of the money without you knowing whether you like it or not? So Muslims don't need only to work hard on the farm and the company. They need to think also the new technology and how people are stealing their wealth and making them bankrupt without even knowing why the things getting expensive. It's the traders who make it. It's not the traders. It's the one taking the value of your money. Traders buy in dollar and sterling. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ. So this is another one. Allah Azza wa Jalla said that, and remember when Ibrahim and Ismail raised the foundation of the house, Kaaba, with this prayer, and they said the prayer was رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا, accept from us, because you are all hearing, all knowing. So here Ibrahim built the house with Ismail. So Ismail couldn't be a toddler building the house with the his father. He was 14 years old. And Isaac, when he came to Mecca, was carried by his brother Ismail. Because this has a political implication now. This is why it's in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah. So it is Ibrahim and Ismail build the Kaaba. So they are not after Mecca. They're not saying they want Mecca to be under the Jewish or the Zionist control. They want Palestine. But they want to say his son who inherited Palestine is Isaac. While here, Isaac doesn't exist. If he was there still alive, he was a little toddler. And Ismail is the one who was helping Ibrahim alayhi building the Kaaba. So Ismail and Ibrahim were there. And at that time, the law in that time that the eldest brother inherited all. Even they used to inherit the second wife of the husband. If he died, the eldest brother inherits his stepmother, which is in Islam banned and haram, not allowed. So Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that. And then they made another prayer to Allah Azza wa Jal, رَبَّنَا وَجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ وَجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ. So they both wanted to carry on submitting to Allah Azza wa Jal. And from our offspring also ummatan muslima. So here Ibrahim and Ismail making the dua, and here min dhurriyatina again Ibrahim and Ismail. So Ibrahim will have more dhurriya, Ishaq, and from Ishaq Yaqub, from Yaqub the 12 asbat, and from Ismail a lot of Arab comes down till Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا, and show us our places of celebrations, of durates, how to make the tawaf, how to make the sa'i in Kaaba. You can use the key, this key, yes, Saliman. Okay. You in the kitchen? So they were showed all these manasik and how to do the tawaf and sa'i and return us to you in repentance, and innaka anta tawwabu ar-rahim. You are the often returning and most merciful. So ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك. So all religions actually submitting to Allah. Muslimayni laka, submitting to Allah Azza wa Jal. Make us always submit. And our offspring, Ummatun Muslima, a nation of submission to Allah Azza wa Jal. And show us how to worship you, how to do, obviously, the tawaf and say. And then he made, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, made this dua. When he make dua, everybody say Ameen with him, will be making the dua as well. So this is why they're talking in plural, Rabbana. And like when you make dua, you don't make dua for yourself only. You then say Allahumma ihdini. You say Allahumma ihdina. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Although in your salah, and you are saying it secretly, but you say ihdina, because I might not be worthy of guidance, but I'm saying I'm one of all those Muslims, guide us. So for the sake of the rest who are really good, Allah will include me with them. So you talk in the plural, but although he was making the dua. Like Musa, when Musa make dua against Pharaoh, and Allah Azza wa Jal said, after he finished dua, he said, قَدْ اسْتُجِيبَتْ دَعْوَتُكُمَا يَا مُوسَى. Although only Musa making da'wah, but Harun was saying Ameen, Ameen. And Allah considered that they both made the dua. Da'watukuma, the two of you. And here the same, he was making the dua in plural, because the Prophet Muhammad said, Ana da'watu Abi Ibrahim wa bisharatu Isa. So he was the fulfillment of this dua, this request from Ibrahim, from Allah Azza wa Jal, and Muhammad said, I am the reply to his da'wah. So how long it took the da'wah to be fulfilled? We make dua, and before each home we want Allah to respond to us. After, I'll give you a day. You didn't give Allah a day or an hour or something. You leave it to Allah and He will do it in the right time. So it took 5,000 years for this one single dua to be fulfilled. رَبَّنَا وَابْعَثْ فِيهِمْ, and send among them, فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ, one of them. And that's clearly saying to the sons of Israel, prophethood is not going to be only from Jacob or Yaqub or Ishaq. So it's going to be from Ismail alayhi salatu salam, because the messenger is going to come from among his offspring down the line, from Ismail to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's another one which is now, we can use it politically to say to the Zionists, no, look, it's not your promised land. It's actually promised to all the children of Ibrahim, Arab or Jew or Christian.
Decide that amongst them means descendants of Ismail, not descendants of. How is it?
Minhum, from them.
How is it not ambiguous that it could still be Ishaq?
Because they're making the word together.
Of the send among them a messenger of their own. One of them, Arab, speaking Arabic. So it wasn't the sons of Israel, it was from the sons of Ismail. And this is the ayah.
Because they were together.
So, the author was saying that why is it we are saying that it's Ismail's progeny which is mentioned here, not Ishaq? Because there's no mention of name here. But that's because of the previous ayah.
Yeah, the ayah here, this ayah is Ismail. After they built Kaaba, they made the dua. So they built the Kaaba, he made the dua, and Ibrahim making the dua, Ismail saying Ameen. And dua of Ibrahim, that's وَبْعَثْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ, from among them. هذا البلد, whoever lived in that town. And his job, as Ibrahim imagined, that recite to them the signs of Allah, or teach them. يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمْ. Yatlu is you show something, you mention something. وَيُعَلِّمُهُمْ, it's interaction. You teach and you listen. Has he understood or not? Did he know or not? Now,
the other point which Brother was mentioning is that we know it's because of that it's Ismail's progeny is mentioned, because Prophet said that I am actually the response of this.
Yeah,
law.
I am da'wah to Ibrahim. I'm
somewhere else.
In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, Ana da'wah to Abi Ibrahim. And then he said, Ana ibnu dhabihain, the son of the two who were about to be slaughtered. Who are they?
Ismail
and?
Or Ishaq.
No, Ishaq wasn't about to be slaughtered.
Who's the other one?
Ismail, yes. Who's the second one?
Abdullah.
Because Abdullah, the father of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because Abdul Muttalib didn't have any children. Then he made an oath, if I get 10 children, I will slaughter the last one.
Yes.
And you know the rest of the story. And then he didn't want to slaughter him, so he paid 100 camel. He kept throwing the luck, the slaughter, not slaughter, until it became number 10, 100 camel not to slaughter. So he gave 100 camel. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, I'm the son of the two who were about to be slaughtered.
Right.
And Ibn Dhabihain.
Also, this is ayah, the proof of the Jews saying, the last prophet should come from us, but it come from the Arabs. But this ayah proving that this is because of prophet.
Yeah, Rasulan minhum, from among them, not from the sons of Israel. So this is why they rejected Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. They thought he's going to come from the sons of Israel, and he came from sons of the Arabs, sons of Ismail. But this is interesting ayah, because he said to Allah, he requested that the job of the Prophet ﷺ to show them or recite to them or rehearse to them your signs and teach them, which is instruction, between him and them al-kitab, which is the Quran, al-hikmah, which is wisdom, and most of the scholars say it's the hadith, the sunnah, and purify them. وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. It's interesting here to go and see what was the reply of Allah Azza wa Jal, how he juggled it around for a reason. So we'll take يُزَكِّيهِمْ and bring the, it came in many ayahs actually, so it's Jum'ah, one of them. This is the ayah we're talking about. هو الذي بعث, this is Surah الجمعة, الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته, which is the request of Ibrahim, يتلو عليهم آياتك, he said يتلو عليهم آياته, آيات الله, and then he brought ويزكيهم here, he made it second, and then he said Allah Azza wa Jal ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة, علمهم الكتاب والحكمة. So he took يزكيهم and put it after آياتك, and he put ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. Why is that? And that came in many ayahs. لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة in Surah Al Imran, and in this in Surah Al-Jum'ah and Surah Al Imran. So why Allah Azza wa Jal moved يزكيهم?
What was the name of the meaning of يزكيهم?
Purify them, clean their heart, their soul. Why he took that and put it before teaching them the Quran and wisdom? Yeah, brother?
So that's, I mean, my understanding is that's actually to do with Iman. So they have to accept, believe in Allah first. And then
so you think they have to accept Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal, and then
purify them, their souls, and then they will learn from the Quran. Because
so is it Iman or is it purify the soul? Yuzakkihim, purify their soul and their behavior. But why he took it to after يعلمهم يتلو عليهم آياتك, show them the signs that Allah is the creator, so they will believe in Allah. So Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal is first, and second yuzakkihim.
So that's what, once they have purified that, because I mean the start of the Quran says Zalikal Kitab.
Yeah, when they purify their hearts, then
they will get the Hidayah. Dalil Muttaqeen. So it's they have
Hidayah, something. Hidayah either show them the way and the route, guide them, or Hidayah from Allah Azza wa Jal puts in the heart that to become a believer and guided by Allah Azza wa Jal. So your guidance will remain.
Because the Kitab and the Sunnah will not benefit unless you purify yourself. First you need to purify yourself, and then you will benefit from the Kitab and Hikmah.
But the Kitab and Hikmah are written before.
Yeah. Now, if I want to write here,
or maybe the Sunnah,
so you have to read that
I think other way around.
Yeah. If I want to write on the board with all this writing, it would be a bit muddling. You know, if somebody walks in, what's that? What I need to know. So what you need to do first, you clean this, if I can. Some of them difficult to clean. Now, when it is totally clean, then anything I write, it will be
Read.
visible and read and understood. So you clean the heart from lying, cheating, backbiting, betraying, sarcasm, arrogancy, whatever. Purify the heart, so when you say the Quran, will be taken. We say the Sunnah will be taken. So the beginning, there were no Quran. Quran took 23 years to finish. So the beginning where Iman, purifying the Sahaba, took a long time. And then the Quran kept coming in larger quantity. And that will be straight into the heart and they will believe. And the Sunnah, obviously. Yes, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, because another thing is that when Ibrahim al-Islam is making the dua, he's got the pure message, but then the progeny, the Jews and the Christians have actually corrupted the message. So the user key means that you have to forget about all that corruption before you actually get the proper message again.
Yeah, because there's a lot of corruption now took place, and you need to clean the heart now. So you thought, the heart already clean at your time, but now things are really different.
That's why the Munafiqeen came, because they didn't benefit from the Kitab and Hikmah because their heart was
not pure.
They refused.
Yeah, that's why they became Munafiqeen.
Yeah, refused to be cleaned. They kept cheating, lying, and betraying, and so the one whose heart is clean believed very quickly, like Abu Bakr and Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, Ammar ibn Yasir and his family.
Abu Sufyan.
Abu Sufyan took him a long time, so you're saying. And Umar ibn Khattab the third year. So it's still, the purer the heart, the quicker they got into Islam. And those whose heart is totally rotten, they never became Muslim. But it's interesting because when you are a teacher to teach Islam, you need really to do the tazkiyah before you teach the Quran. And this is what the Sufis were about, to clean the heart and then teach the Quran and Sunnah. If the heart is not clean, we've been cheated by quite few so-called scholars in Islam, and mullah. And the last one is my son was being cheated recently. Somebody nearly stabbing him in the back. Well, I'm your friend, and invite you to food.
Those is for money, but the big fitna like in Syria happened because of the scholars, not because of the people. Scholars give fatwa and start fitna.
The scholars who didn't understand when it is permissible to fight or not permissible to fight, but it's too complicated because a lot of outside countries were feeding them with a huge amount of money. Like when Saddam Hussein was fighting the Shia, took 10 years, but they were giving him around at that time $7 billion they gave him, and they gave Egypt and Syria to fight Israel $1 billion. They were keen that they fight, the Shia, and they made the Shia worse because they had more hate now, and they have more enmity to the Sunnah, and this is why they were involved in the war in Syria, Hezbollah from Lebanon and the Shia from Iraq, and if you go to Syria now, you go to the central Syria, the Umayyad Mosque, and it's noticeable there are a lot of Shia there. And they speak language the rest of us don't understand what they're saying because they're speaking Farsi, So we'll stop at this ayah, inshallah, and then we'll come back to the rest next week, and we'll go to the topic. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad.